Hey, everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today with my friend Louis Hefter from Alliant Insurance Services. What's going on, Lou? How you doing?
Hey, Ben, thanks for having me back. Glad to be here.
It's awesome. I had so much fun with you in Nashville at the
Yeah,
ATA Moving and Storage Conference, and you were so gracious to, I got to crash your party, which was phenomenal, by the way, right on Broadway. And so I just appreciate, I felt like one of the guys, at the end of that thing. So it was so nice having you on for a brief bit when we were in Nashville. And I said, we got to do a full format, the whole hour. We got to give Lou the whole hour.
give me an hour. Wow.
Yeah, for insurance too, for such an exciting topic, right? Now, Lou, I got to be honest with you, okay? Before we get into it, can I share a secret? I'm just going to tell you a secret, okay?
Yeah,
I don't always love insurance. So you got
to. I hate insurance.
Yeah, I feel like now we're seeing eye to eye here. But so I look forward to having my mind open. I'll say that I won't love insurance. I won't be running to stroke that check every month. But I will at least understand where it's going and why it's important. I hope that's my goal for today.
Absolutely. And I hope to not bore everybody to tears. How's that for my goal?
Well, the cool thing is the insurance guys have the best stories. So I will say that. Y'all have some incredible stories. So hopefully at least we get some good stories out of you. Get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Let us know who you are, where you are, what the heck you're up to. It's hot as all get out. It's 101 degrees here in Dallas, Texas. Lou, where are you? Okay, froze. It's not that cold. It's 101.
Yeah, we froze. Now you're back.
I'm back. All right, Lou. Well, where in the world are you, Lou?
Where in the world do I reside? I'm in New York State, right outside the city.
Right outside the city? So I grew up in White Plains, New York. How far away from where I grew up are you?
We talked about that. We're about a half an hour from White Plains. We're right between New York City and Westchester.
Okay, so like the Bronx, like New Rochelle or something.
We're on the Jersey side, over by Bear Mountain.
Oh, Jersey side. Okay, cool. I won't hold that against you. That's fine.
That's fine.
Can't.
It's a good place.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know who you are, where you are. Check in with me and Lou over here. Is it hot in New Jersey, or is it like at least a little cooler than it is here?
No, it's hot. It's we've had some rain. Now it's getting. We're in the 90s today. It's a cool day.
Okay, it's a pool day, not a cool day. It's a pool day.
Cool.
Okay, got it. Hey, we got some more New Yorkers checking in here. Jennifer Anderson. What's up, Jennifer? Great topic. Checking in from NY. I think you're from Long Island, Jennifer. Are you from Long Island? I think you are from the Island, Strong Island. Okay, very cool. Lou's from Dirty Jersey here. Hey, we're gonna get into some insurance. I gotta ask you, Lou, before we get like really into it. Just I'm an outsider. I don't own trucks. My wife wouldn't let me. I almost bought a moving company. She said, you don't even know how to change your own oil. Why would you buy a whole bunch of trucks? The guys don't even like you. You wear shiny shoes. Don't do it. I didn't. I thank God I didn't. However, I will say as an outsider looking in, I got my own insurance for my own business, for my own home, my own car. Insurance feels like it's going up, Lou. Am I crazy? Is it going up?
You're not. And in your world, in our world, it is going up. In our clients' world, in the moving industry, in the transportation industry, it is a compounding effect that is getting worse, not better.
When you say a compounding effect, what does that mean to like average consumers?
So this year has been like the perfect storm. We had issues going into the year. Litigation, financing, all things you've heard so many times. I hate even saying nuclear verdicts. That word is so cliche at this point. It's not nuclear verdicts. It's Powerball. You walk away from an accident.
Lotto tickets. Like lottery tickets. Huh?
Yeah, you walk away from a big accident and you survive it, and it's Powerball, right? So between the litigation financing, between the jury verdicts, and now we get the Montgomery verdict coming down or came down.
What's Montgomery verdict?
You haven't heard about the Montgomery verdict?
I'm sorry. I've been trying to keep as far away from insurance as possible, Lou. Tell me about Montgomery verdict.
Brokers are now responsible. So it's not just the carrier they brokered the shipment to. They're going back to the broker, holding them responsible. So it's the Robinson case. Everybody's talking about it. You can go online and read about it. I'm not going to take my
I've heard about it. My
5
buddy
minutes on it, but it was the perfect storm of these scenarios that all came together at the worst time. And when you talk about the fact that there have been these nuclear verdicts, hate that word, the pricing for coverage and the ability to purchase has changed in a way it hasn't. It's been getting there. We've seen increases over the last 2 decades in the transportation space. The reinsurance industry 20 years ago changed. But now when you bring all of this in, now you've got a capacity issue. Who's going to reinsure the primary insurers? And at what cost are they going to do it for? And at what attachment point are they going to join the party? Where they may have joined on $1 million policy before, excess of $250,000 for $100. I'm giving you a number. Now they want to attach $500,000 for $500. So not only are they giving those primary insurers less reinsurance, they're charging more for it, which means the primary insurers now have to pass that cost along to the buyer. So it's a compounded effect.
I didn't even know. You said something before. You said a word here that I want to key in on for 1 second because I got to ask a clarifying question. Get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Let me know where in the world you are. I'm seeing people check in here. Stephen Patterson checking in from the Lou, not the Louis Hefter, but the Lou, St. Louis. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Mel checking in. Howdy, Lou. Give us some great stories, please. Okay, Mel. I'm gonna save this one for just a second because we're gonna get there after this topic here. Jennifer Anderson, yes, from Long Island. Yes, yeah. Bev Bell, good question, Ben. Thank you, Bev. Somebody recognizes my brilliance, for goodness sakes. Sean Ireland, great to see the insurance industry represented on Love and Relo. Checking in this afternoon from Waco, Texas. What's up, Sean? I was just in Fort Worth. I was thinking about you, buddy. We got to get together. Yeah, and insurance is underrepresented on the show. I do apologize. Okay, we'll get there. But Lou, you said something called reinsurance.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
So insurance companies, like consumers, buy insurance themselves. They
wild.
cede off risk to other insurance companies, and they do it at different layers, different attachment points. They can quota share, which is another word you probably haven't heard, which means they come back and forth inside the layers at different price points and different attachment points. So there's very few insurance companies that put a policy out there that doesn't have reinsurance behind it.
Wow. Okay. So there's layers to this thing here.
There are.
Reinsurance. So that reinsurance price is increasing your go-to-market price as well. It sounds like, and all of this goes back to these verdicts. You know, we talked about the Montgomery verdict, and I have heard about this. My friend who runs a big brokerage, a multi-location brokerage, he actually told me about it. I didn't know it was called the Montgomery verdict, but I know he was freaking out a little bit. Are you insuring? I know you insure moving and storage companies. Do you also insure transportation brokers too?
So Alliant, so my specialty is moving and storage, has been for now 29 years, but Alliant as a company, we're one of the largest transportation practices in the space, and we do everything from LTL, cross-border, brokerage, forwarders, you name it, we insure them. And we've actually developed, and I'm going to give a quick pitch to it, a service as a software called Fleetlytics that anybody who wants more information, contact me offline. We really built this long before the brokerage ruling came out, but it's a compliance tool. And a lot of what I want to talk to you about today is about compliance and record keeping and what a company, whether it's a mover, a trucker, a broker, a forwarder, whatever they're doing in this space, what they need to do to survive to the next level.
Okay. We're going to be looking for some advice. Definitely. Debbie's checking in here. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know who you are, where you are. Hit that like button. Debbie's saying Lou is the master of insurance.
I paid her to say that.
Nice, Debbie. Well, checks in the mail, Debbie. Every other Friday, Debbie's getting a royalty on that one. Yeah, so well, talk to us about the compliance. I mean, compliance is something that's it's not always my favorite topic. I mean, none of us really want to talk about compliance, right? It's like, it's about getting in trouble and making sure, we're playing by the rules and everything. But, the stakes are high if you don't. So give us some advice, Lou. Like, what do we need to be doing out here?
So I'm not going to give any plaintiff's counsel an advertisement now. We all know who they are. And they've gotten very good at their jobs. And when an accident happens, their demand for information, that request packet is so big.
Oh,
And it's all what they're looking
it's
for.
giving me
They're
heartburn.
looking to find ways to find that motor carrier negligent in the claim, regardless of fault. So it all comes to documentation. When you hire the driver, when you onboard the driver, is everything documented? Did you road test them? Do you have their MVR in the file? Is their medical certificate? Everything up to date? That's the easy part. Then it's training. Are you training the drivers? Are you training the helpers? Are you background checking? Are you documenting all of this? Documentation becomes critical because when that accident happens and that plaintiff file comes in without documentation, none of what you did exists.
Do you just lose? Do you just lose because you don't have the docs? Like just because you weren't able to like bring enough proof or enough supporting documentation to bear?
Sometimes you'll lose having the wrong documentation, Ben. So if the FMCSA has guidelines, if you say you're going to exceed their guidelines, you're going to do more than what they require, and you don't do it, that's going to hurt you. So I'm not saying do the bare minimum. What I'm saying is everything that you're going to say you're going to do as a company to be a safer company for the traveling public, you need to actually do and document and do it. Everybody's investing in technology today. Almost everybody has inward and outward facing cameras. If not inward, they're outward facing cameras. Yeah. That technology is not cheap. It's a financial investment. But what we need these buyers, these consumers, these companies to understand, it's more than a financial investment. They have to actually take time and invest it and make it a culture change. They have to adopt those challenges that we're going to put in front of them. One of the things we challenge anybody who has the data is to look at that data. Underwriters, this is a great story I tell all the time. Underwriters for a long time looked at three things when they took a submission in from us. They looked at the exposure, the amount of trucks, where they're going. They looked at the driver's MVRs, right? The MVR.
MVR means what for everyone who doesn't know?
Record. It's a motor vehicle record. It's your abstract you get from motor vehicles. And it shows you over the past 10 or 5 years what your violations were or any accidents that you had. Now, I tell the story. I'm in the insurance business. I should probably not do this on a live podcast. It's going to be recorded. But my MVR is perfect. It's perfect, Ben. It's the best you've ever seen. But I speed.
I believe it.
I never wear a seatbelt, and I'm texting and emailing all day long, right? So if the insurance company actually knew what I was doing behind the wheel, they wouldn't insure me. But based on my MVR, I've got a great rate.
Right.
The third thing is loss runs. Loss runs are indicative because they show you what's happened over the last 5 years of your history. So, past performance is no guarantee of future, but it's a good guide or barometer for an underwriter to go with. So again, that MVR, that piece of paper, used to be the telltale for everything. Now, the data that's coming out of this camera system is showing everything the driver's doing from the time they turn the truck on in the morning until they turn it off at night.
Does all that data just work against us as trucking owners though? Like, does it ever help us? Do they ever watch that and say, gosh, your guys never talk in the cab? Gosh, like we're going to lower you just because you guys are really stoic and you're not very social truckers.
If you use the technology to dictate the story yourself, your broker, you change the narrative. So that data comes out, you can get it weekly, you can get it monthly, but nobody knows what to look for. So again, that product analytics that we've built, it aggregates an insurance score, and it works with other carriers in the space, other motor carriers. And it scores the drivers based upon millions of drivers' data that's been aggregated. And what underwriters are now looking at, they're looking at two numbers inside that data. They're looking for your speeding events and your harsh braking events. Because you know what those two things lead to?
Accidents?
Crash.
Okay.
We call them crash indicators.
Yeah.
So the investment in technology, if you don't use it properly, Ben, like you asked, is it going to be detrimental? Absolutely. Is it beneficial? It is. It's the best thing out there if you use it properly. If your broker is working with you and your insurance company and telling the story. So, okay, we download you today. We look at your numbers. We see your top performers. We see your bottom performers. We give you a roadmap as to what we need to do to train those drivers that are underperforming. We push out training, 6-7 minute videos, and that's the other thing. When we get to those verdicts down the road, they want to see what did you do after you saw this repeat offender, was speeding every day, did you train them? And when we can't prove that we trained them, again, the documentation, if we can't prove it, it didn't exist. So it can be your best friend and it can be your worst enemy.
I'm really curious about this. Does anyone use that safe driver technology that for their cars, right? For their personal vehicles, right? Because not all of us own trucking operations out here, but we all drive a car, right? So I know back a few years ago, they started advertising this safe driver stuff, right? And you could, submit to having this, device put in your vehicle that checks our hard braking and our, acceleration and the way I like to drive to work because I'm always late in the morning, right? For whatever reason, who knows? It's a choice. But does anyone use that? I'm really curious if you do use it and if you've saved money to it. I personally have not used this because I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like what they find. This can't possibly help me. This isn't a product for me. So I'm like wondering, is more information, like net, like a good thing for us as insured people or operators, whatever, or does it kind of like tend to in the net, work against us? I'm asking people right now, get in the comments, let us know if you use this technology for your personal vehicle. Okay, we already know Lou likes to,
I don't use it.
do a little of this, do a little of that, a little this, a little that, no seatbelt. Yeah, I got a funny story about the no seatbelt thing for a second. No, so it's not a bad story, it's just a funny story. Debbie says, hell no. Hail to the no, she says. Jill's checking in from the NTRP cornhole tournament. Thank you, Jill. Appreciate you. Be safe out there, Jill. Okay, don't fall in. Let's see here. Get in the comments. Let us know if you use that safe driving technology. Lou, why don't you use it personally in your vehicle?
Well, I've already told you I wouldn't have insurance if I used it. But I will tell you, there are members of my team that have cameras in their personal cars for them, their family, their kids.
Really?
Yeah, and it's the long story short on the cameras, on the inward-facing cameras. It's a driver behavior modification tool. All right, you can see what your drivers are doing. They know they're being recorded. And I can tell you over the past 15, 20 years since the cameras came into existence and became as hot as they are, we've seen some stuff. I've seen guys use the steering wheel as a pizza box holder while they're driving. Okay? I mean, I've seen everything. But
Yeah.
unless you see it, you can't correct it. So from the perspective of driver behavior modification, it's great. Now seeing the next level with the crash indicators of the speeding and the harsh braking, another great tool. So I would recommend people using it, but it's, again, on a personal side, it's not the same as on the commercial side.
For sure. And you're running a business versus, just living your life and everything. Jennifer Anderson says, I absolutely would. She's a saint. She works from home. She's got no risk, no exposure, as we say in the biz. But the husband, oh no, not on board. That's a no for me, dog. Yeah, see, now I'm a big fan of using two hands while eating a hero and then both my knees. My dad told me both my knees can be used to steer the wheel. I've got a lot of grip, though. Yeah, so
I will tell you, Ben, with the camera technology, when a claim happens, you no longer have the he said, she said story, right? You've got a story. It's visible. You can see it. And when it comes to a claim that does occur, we can get out of it faster. Get into a settlement mode. We know we're at fault. Let's get this thing done. Or we know we're not at fault. Here's our proof. We're going to defend ourselves using the video technology. So it's a great tool. It really is.
Yeah, I gotta go here. Okay, Get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear your questions, your comments. Insurance always surprised me. It's always more fun than I thought it was going to be. Mel says, howdy, Lou. She's from Central Texas, okay, Hill Country. She says, howdy, Lou. Give us some great stories, please. Do tell. You got any good stories, Lou? You can change the names to protect the innocent. It's okay. Nobody's watching.
I've got some great stories. Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine any scenario, I've probably seen it in my almost 30 years of doing this. It's usually, I hate to say this, it's usually stupidity that are the funny stories.
Yeah.
Look, we roll out of bed every day whether we own the company, whether we drive for the company, whether we insure the company, all with the best intentions. And, you know, it's always the best intentions.
Uh-huh.
And
Sound
you know,
like the lawyer for my children right now. Go ahead. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. Like
come
that
on, Dad,
absolves you.
5 more minutes.
Yeah, right.
No,
Exactly.
yeah,
My favorite ones, Lou. Tell me if you ever had something like this. My favorite ones are the videos. It's so it's like such Schadenfreude, right, where we laugh at other people's expense. But my favorite ones are the ones where somebody's operating a forklift in a warehouse, and they either hit the beam and the whole ceiling comes down, or they hit the stack, the rack or whatever, and it's just a domino effect of just terrible
more high vaults
results.
just going.
All the vaults, and then it's not just one vault. For some reason, that vault is like somehow tethered to the vault next to it, which is tethered to the vault next, and it just creates this chain reaction of crashing. You ever have something like that happen, Lou?
A few times, yes. I've had roof collapses. I've had guys, take the forklift, drive right into the wall, knock the wall out. I've seen the roof collapses are the worst, but they are sometimes the funniest to watch because I've got clients who've got cameras all over their warehouses, and you just see the entire roof. It's
crazy.
They're crazy. They're multi-million-dollar claims. You cringe and cry, and you're laughing at the same time. But yeah. Again,
it's a lot.
stupidity.
Yeah, you laugh, you cry, right?
The guy didn't mean to drive the forklift into something. He turned around. You got distracted. That's it. It's distraction. But
I had a guy. I was working at a moving company. And I had a guy in the warehouse. He was actually actually it wasn't. It was a container company. It was one of those container companies. And he was in the warehouse. And he was the GM. I don't know why he was in the forklift. That's probably the first mistake, right? And it's like, and he ran smack dab into the pole. He ran smack dab into the whatever, the support pole, the beam, the big center beam, And he didn't take it down, but it was definitely like bent. And we're kind of looking at it like, you think we could get away with just like not like, can we just, you think that'd be all right? Like, I don't know. Just doing the math over here.
I got a funny story that, maybe funny, maybe not. I was going over losses with a client one day and, going over renewal pricing. And there was a significant claim, almost 7 figures. And the client says to me, well, I wasn't driving the truck. You weren't personally, but somebody who works for you wearing your, company name and your name on the truck. It may not have been you, but it was you. So there's funny things. I don't want to go into real specific stories because people will know, but it's a comedy show sometimes. We're psychiatrists, we're bankers, we're accountants, we're lawyers. And we're not certified to do any of these things, but our clients come to us for all of it, especially the psychiatrist side.
Yeah, just a vent, right? They pay you for all of it, right? Christina says, "No, I'm out here rushing to and from school pickup and drop off." So you're not putting any safe driving stuff in your car, huh, Christina? No, she's not doing that. Take care of those kids, Christina. Seriously. I want to. Debbie says she'll believe it's in the check when she sees it. That's funny, Debbie. You're hilarious. Thank you. Get in the comments, y'all. Leave us questions. You got questions or comments for Lou. Lou runs one of the biggest moving and storage insurance practices in the country, and he's got tons of knowledge. They call him the insurance master. I don't know if you've got to trademark that, man. Yeah, let me ask you about, I saw you at the ATA Moving and Storage Conference, and I couldn't help but notice the depth of your relationships with folks, right? And I talked to you a little bit about it at your event, and it really impressed me. Just because honestly, that's my thing too. Like getting to know people on a deep level for a long time. And I saw that you're a person like that as well. Talk about that a little bit. I think some people, and even myself, may look at insurance as a kind of a transactional game, but is it?
So a lot of people view insurance as a transaction. It was for a very long time considered a transactional business. And in still a lot of parts of the practice or the business, it is transaction. But there's a lot of trust. We talk a lot about AI these days, and a lot of jobs inside in this country are going to be wiped out by AI. But there are certain practices where the human touch, that human element, needs to remain, and you can't trust the computer all the time. But when we started out this business, my partners and I, 30 years ago, we really wanted to have a boutique practice. We didn't want to insure every moving company in the country. We wanted to specialize. We're very big, as we talked about in Nashville, in what's called alternative risk insurance. It's really dedicated for the larger moving and storage companies. Of course, we do plenty of traditional risk insurance for the average size mover. But when we get to that larger mover, there's a lot more involved than just, putting an application together, buying a policy. It is a relationship. And the entire transaction of itself is based on relationships. To be successful in anything, as you know, and in the insurance world as a broker, you have to have the relationships with the insurance companies and with the clients. And you have to be the bridge that creates the relationship between the client and the insurance company. Partnership is all this is about, and I'm a people person. I think you know that. I have the gift for gab. I don't ever find myself short of words. But it's translating your personal skills into your business skills. And I've found, and my team and the people I surround myself with are very extroverted. My clients are very similar. We all get along. We spend a lot of time together, especially the captive clients I have. We get together a couple times a year. So it's not just hey, we're going to do a Zoom call next week. We actually get together in person, vacation with my clients. They're not my clients, they're friends. And that friendship becomes a very quick action.
Why is that important though? Like, why is it important to be friends with your insurance guy? I mean,
you don't have to be friends with your insurance.
Besides, like super cool with those nice parties and stuff.
When you're investing the type of money you're investing into your insurance, I mean, it's one of the top 5 spends of any company.
Wow.
You want to make sure that the person or people that you're doing business with are trustworthy. You want to vet them. You want to understand them. You want to understand how they do business. Are they 9 to 5? Are they 5 to 9? Can you call them on Saturday or Sunday? If you've got a question that's not insurance related, but that they deal with, 100 other companies in the same industry and have friends, and you get to that point of it's not just an insurance relationship anymore. And when you spend time in other people's homes and you spend time with their families, that trust, that bond just keeps building. And listen, if you're in the manufacturing business, there's 100 different insurance companies you can go to buy insurance. As a transportation company, specifically in the moving and storage segment, there's only 4 primary insurance companies. So what separates us? What makes us different from the other brokers? And again, I didn't want to come on here and do a sales pitch about why we're the best broker and why Alliant's the best brokerage. We are.
Well, you're going to take a couple of minutes to enlighten us.
But the more important side of it is that relationship, and it solidifies the carrier. When the insurance company knows that I've got a friendship with my client, the trust that they have in me and the client's trust back allows for a different dialogue. I'm not simply asking questions. When a client decides they're going to decide for a new venture they're looking into, the first call is to me. Now, if we weren't friends or we weren't close, maybe I'd be the 3rd or 4th call. But they want to know what the impact is. And I'm honest. I'm always going to tell them up front, what is your estimated revenue from this? Here's your projected spend on this. Now you've got to rethink. And we're very candid. We'll tell them a lot of times these are great ideas, but now's not the time for it. And if you don't have that trust, they're not going to take my word for it. So it is more than just a transaction.
Or they're not going to call you before, they're going to call you after, and then they're going to realize it was a bad decision because they didn't pro forma the additional insurance costs there. This is it makes a lot of sense. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. Get in the comments, y'all. Let us know how we're doing. If you got questions for Lou, let me know. We're going to take your questions. He can't go anywhere, so we're just going to hit him.
It is a comedy show in claims. It is. There are some very, very good claims professionals out there, and claims handling has gotten much better. But before the adoption of cameras, it was a very different story at the time.
Yeah. Well, for the claims, definitely for the accidents, right? The crashes and stuff like that. I wonder, Jennifer, I think she also handles the claims on the actual, like the household goods as well. And that's always funny too, because that's always a back and forth. And
Oh,
I had a story.
Funny story there.
You got a story? Where did you go? Well, I was in New York. 2 weeks ago. I stayed for 10 days in this beautiful furnished apartment in Hell's Kitchen. It was fantastic. And at the end, I'm checking out. I'm throwing all my stuff in a suitcase. I'm getting the heck out of there, right? And the cleaning people come in to turn it over, turn the unit over. I get an email the next day, and they're like, hope everything was great, but we're missing a lamp. There were 2 lamps on 2 bedside tables. Now there's 1 lamp on 2 bedside tables. So it's going to be $108, Mr. Cross. Thank you so much. Let us know how you're going to make payment.
Is that lamp behind you?
And I said, listen, don't worry about that. Okay. Don't worry about the lamp. Don't look at the lamp. And I said, I'm pretty sure I did not put a lamp in my suitcase. Okay. I flew back to DFW through TSA. And there was no lamp in the suitcase. And they sent me a picture with a lamp and no lamp. And I'm just like, I don't know where the lamp went. Okay. There's a chain of custody issue because we had the maids come in. Maybe they got your lamp. I don't even know. Okay. So anyway, it was pretty crazy back and forth going on about who stole the lamp. And I don't know. Maybe I stole it. I'm just saying I had a good case. That's all I'm saying. You got a story, Lou, about?
Well, I was going to tell a story, but I want to know if you paid the $108 first.
Hell no, I escalated. I want to talk to your manager. Damn it. Okay.
So talking about the cargo inside a truck. So I had a client call me one day. He tells me, Lou, I had a claim. I said, all right, you got to give me a little more details on that. So he was moving a print center. So $100,000 plus printers. 10, 15 of them in the back of the truck. Pick it up at origin, take it to destination. They get to destination, and there is just metal, mangled metal. Nobody strapped anything down.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
So how do you report that claim? Again, we talked about sometimes it's stupidity. So it was over $1 million claim for machines that were, when you opened up this truck after a 200-mile drive, it was just mangled metal.
You do it this way. You have a claim form and you have a resignation. 1 sheet of paper, double-sided. Okay, it's like, here's the claim, and by the way, I'm sorry, and I'll go somewhere else. Thank you. Wow.
But that kind of stuff happens all the time. All the time. You want another funny story?
Yeah.
I had a client pulled on a military base. All right. Okay. So you know how stringent the military is.
Yes, very hard to get
on his cell phone with a tablet in his other hand, driving with his knee into the military base.
Ooh.
All on camera.
So did the MP stop him, or did you catch him?
They stopped him. They turned him around. Driver behavior modification. It worked. The guy's still employed. He hasn't done it again, but these are the things we see.
Driver behavior modification. Man, that sounds like when my wife practices on me. She's like slapping me. She's like, watch the
husband behavior modification.
Yeah, husband behavior modification. Happens to drive. Jennifer says, no more household goods, just accidents. All right, you found the money. Good for you. God bless. Caroline says, Jillian, make us proud. Too late. Jennifer, you absolutely want someone who cares. Faux show. I heard something at the ATA MSC, and I've been meaning to ask you about it. It's called moving captives. And it sounds like human trafficking, but it's not.
So captive, the word captive came from the original captive. It was formed in the mining industry, I think back in the 40s. It's a horrible name. It really has to change. That's why we tend to call it alternative risk transfer now, not captives, because no one wants to be held captive to anything.
Yeah.
About 17, 18 years ago, we were instrumental in building the first homogeneous captive. Now, there's 2 types, homogeneous, heterogeneous. Homogeneous captives mean all like and similar exposure. Heterogeneous could be anything out there. You could have a moving company and a manufacturing company in the same program. So you're sharing risk with people that don't do the same as you do. So we launched the first successful moving and storage captive about 18 years ago. There are 4 or 5 that we work with now. And what they do is they allow the insured party, so the motor carrier, and this is all across the transportation, not just in moving and storage, there's captives everywhere. to join a group captive where they're underwritten differently than the rest of the world. So in traditional insurance, good subsidize the bad. So you don't have any accidents, but you still pay X for your premium. It's going up at the end of the year, but that's subsidized the people that did have the accidents, right? So now you go into these group programs, these captives, whether they're individual or group, and you're insulated from the rest of the marketplace. You're no longer subsidizing. You're just insuring yourself. You're underwritten based upon your exposure and your own history, your own losses, and what you're doing, what you're investing in going forward as far as technology and safety. So when you join these programs, we always hope for a competitive premium. But the benefit of these programs is long-term premium predictability and stability. So you go into a captive, you can gauge what the next 5 or 10 years are going to look like price-wise. Now, your exposure changes. If you add 20 trucks, you add $1 million of payroll, of course, the price is going to go up, but the rates are going to remain stable for a 5 to 10 year price point. In addition, a captive is a financial transaction. That's all it is. The policy you get looks, smells, feels the same way it does now. Certificates of insurance that we give to your customers and your suppliers and anybody you do business with are going to look exactly as they do now. But behind the scenes, remember we were talking about the insurance company ceding off to a reinsurance company? So you then become part of that transaction. So an insured in a captive has a retention layer. That retention layer makes them part of the insurance policy. So let's say it's a $100,000 retention. Every claim that they have, the first 100,000 comes out of what's called a loss fund that's built out of the premium paid to pay claims. During the underwriting period, the actuaries are going to determine what they expect for losses from that client, and they're going to come up with a number. If during the course of the year you do better than that number they predict, you have the potential to get a return at the end of the policy period, at the end of what's called the commutation. If you do worse, you have the potential for an assessment. So for those companies, those best-in-class operators, the ones who are investing, not the financial investment, the ones who are actually putting their money where their mouth is, or their mouth where their money is, whichever way you want to say it this way, who are actually investing the time, training their people, working the system properly, narrating the story, keeping themselves as safe, documenting everything, there could be significant returns on the back end in those programs.
That's really interesting. And what percentage of the moving industry would you say participates in a moving captive like this?
You know, the real number of movers that are licensed and insured is anywhere between 6,000 and 9,000. I really can't give you a finite number. We've never been able to narrow that down. But I would say of that, let's go with the smaller side. Let's say 6,000 moving companies. I would say about 250 of them today are inside a captive program.
And would you recommend they all participate in something like that, or
Ben,
is
I
there a
got to
reason
tell
you
you,
wouldn't?
pure risk transfer where you buy a policy, where you just pay a premium, you have a deductible, and the insurance company handles the claims. In the transportation world, that's not going to exist, in my opinion, in 5 years. I think everybody is going to be in some type of partnership arrangement with their insurance companies, whether it's a large deductible, a captive. There's going to be some means and mechanism where the insured takes risk in their program. Otherwise, the insurance companies are just going to run out of capacity or have price points where it's going to put these companies out of business, period.
Just because of the escalating costs of insuring everything, it sounds like.
Then when I started 29 years ago, $1 million claim was a big claim. You know, we called the first million of an umbrella the burn layer. That was it, the first million. Now, I mean, we're seeing verdicts out there where there's nowhere near enough insurance to pay that number. Where are these numbers coming from? How do they expect them to get paid? But when they do, policy limits are gone. They're exhausted. So if you're buying $1 million primary and $10 million of excess, which is a big buy and a big premium, and you have a $50 million claim, right? You're $39 million short of what needs to be paid. Now, of course, all your assets are going to be taken. You know, you're going to go on a payment plan with, claimant for the next 50 years. But in reality, you still exhausted that $10 million, right? Plus the primary. What happens from there? How do you buy coverage next year? Who is going to price you, and what are they going to price you at? And that's the epidemic that we're faced with right now. we don't have enough capacity. We're already at the highest price points we've been at 20 years. And, we were at a industry event, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, and there was a tremendous guest speaker. He was an attorney who insurance companies hired to appeal verdicts. And he told us a story, and he actually had a video that went along with it, where he interviewed people off the street outside a courtroom on trucking verdicts. And the resounding answer from every single person that he interviewed was someone has to pay. Who's that someone? Mm-hmm. So are we finding these carriers at fault even when they're not? And that's the biggest thing that's happening right now with these plaintiffs' counsel. You get an insured in a testimony situation where they're doing a deposition. The coaching that has to go into this is so extensive, because if you answer a question with anything more than yes or no, you've just opened up a can of worms, right? So it's the creativity of the people out there that are making these tremendous paydays. With the litigation financing, I mean, that has skyrocketed.
What do you mean by that? Tell people what that means.
It's exactly what you think I said. There are private equity firms out there backing cases. So obviously it's going to cost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to sometimes get a case to trial. Those law firms aren't all footing that bill. They're working on a contingency, so that the injured party isn't paying any of this bill at all. So it's usually taken on a contingency where the law firm is going to get 50, 60% of the profit of the award. Let's call it profit. But now these cases have gotten so big, when we've got $100+ million verdicts out there, private equity firms, investment companies, they're seeing dollar signs, and they're investing in the law firms and giving them the equity and the capital to support these cases, to spend that year in discovery, to do the depositions, to take the expert witnesses, to go out and find experts.
Why is that a problem, Lou?
Why is that a problem? It's driving the ultimate cost of the claim, which ultimately drives the total cost of risk back to the insured, because when the claims get bigger and they get paid, again, someone's got to pay it. It's the insurance company. Now the insurance company just took, $100 million hit. Who's going to pay that? Other policyholders.
We hear about this when we go to ATA, MSC, and this is one of those ATA talking points across the board, right? They have a lot of subsets, with MSC being one of them. But, this applies to all trucking companies. What if you had a magic wand, and you were able to make some reforms, some changes here, what would the answer be?
That's an awesome question, Ben. And, knowing that you're big with ATA, the March on Washington coming up in September is going to be big. There have been bills that have been proposed that have been they're not loud enough yet. We need to make it louder. The SAFE Act, which is the Safety and Accountability in Freight. There's the Veterans Transition Act, which are trying to get veterans behind the wheel, guys who've served overseas, Iraq, Afghanistan. If they can drive a truck through those deserts, they can drive a truck on any interstate, right? So the things that these groups are doing, we got to lobby more. We've got to get rid of litigation financing. We've got to put a penalty on anybody who brings a suit that's malicious and false. There has to be. We're the only country where the wronged party. So you sue me and I win, you don't pay my defense. Every other country, if you sued me and I won, you'd pay my defense costs too. So we make it too easy to sue. We're too litigious, and obviously, without trucks, we're dead, right? Without trucks on the road.
Yeah, no, everything we see was transported here on the truck.
Exactly. So what are we doing for this industry? We're basically saying you're gone. We're going to go back to the railroads, okay? And things are going to, you want your Amazon shipment where you press buy now and at 4 a.m. It's delivered, or at the worst case the next day at like 5 o'clock. But if you keep this up, rapid deliveries going away, overnight deliveries going away, you're going to have empty shelves at stores. So we really need our Congress, our everybody that works for us to be behind transportation at its core and working to make it easier to be in this business, not harder. It's hard enough every morning getting up, knowing the things you have to do when you run a moving business or a trucking business. All the things that have to happen from the first dispatch till the last truck comes back, right? Isn't that enough to worry about? But then you also have to worry about Okay, is my house secure? Because God forbid one of my drivers has a wreck today and it's a 7 or 8 figure wreck and I don't have enough insurance, I'm going bankrupt. That shouldn't
Yeah.
be the concern right now.
Yeah, that's really scary. That's really, really scary. I like what you said about increasing the penalties for, filing a false report or a false suit. I see sometimes these videos where people will engineer these car accidents in order to go file a claim and try to your point, get that Powerball ticket, right? For a multi-million dollar settlement or something like that, And I'm not saying that's everybody, but it goes into the average, and it increases the cost of doing business for all of us.
And
And
about
so,
20 years ago, a bus company staged an accident and put it all over the news. And the next day, there were 50 claimants. The bus never even left its yard.
oh
It was
wow,
a totally staged event just to see how much there would be in fraud. And
oh
there were
wow,
50 plus claimants came up the next day.
wow.
So
Yeah, so I think stiffer penalties for things like that would make a lot of sense and really dissuade people, from it. Yeah, super interesting. We could talk about this stuff, all the time, Lou. I can't wait to see you again in at ATA. But before we, go too far down the sad rabbit hole here, you want to have a little fun, Lou, and
yeah,
play a game with me?
before we do that, I just want to say one thing to
Yeah,
turn the sad.
yeah.
For those of you listening who are willing to invest, adopt, and change, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That
Oh,
I
really?
assure you, there really is. But it's going to take an effort. It's not just going to take, let's shop our insurance, right? Shopping our insurance is not the answer here. It's investing in technology, investing in your drivers, background check, get the right data, document, and I promise you, if you do all of those things, you will see it level off and you will see light. If you want to continue with the status quo, it's survive or die right now.
I got two questions for you actually
But
before we move on. One, how long until every car and truck that's sold that's new has built-in cameras, not aftermarket, but built-in from the manufacturer?
I don't think soon enough, but I would
Yeah.
say probably within the next 5 years.
All right, next question. When we have driverless cars and driverless trucks, what happens to the cost of insurance?
Ben, that's a great question. Autonomous
Thank you. I'm crushing it today.
you are totally crushing it. Autonomous units have been around, for quite a while now, and they've been tested all over the country. Hopefully, most times they've had a co-pilot that was human that could jump in the need. But I don't know if you heard about the Waymo one, where one of the Waymos got lost and another Waymo just pulled behind it because it couldn't figure out what the one in front of it was doing. Because
Uh-huh.
so it becomes a different type of liability. We still don't know how that's going to be underwritten. Does it become product liability? Is there a cyber issue involved? Because there could be a hack involved. Right now, you can hack a car, right? But it's not autonomous.
I can barely drive. I mean,
Right.
hack a car. Okay.
But now you've got a fully autonomous vehicle that's 60,000 pounds loaded doing 65 miles an hour on the interstate.
A little scary.
I'm a little scared of that. A little scared. So I don't know what that's going to look like when it's actually in full development and full rollout. But it's probably going to be a product liability cyber type claim as opposed to a true auto liability claim. And insurance companies that write auto are going to have to figure out into their forms how to incorporate. We take the human error out now, right? There's no more human error. It's now computer error. So
It'll be interesting to see, does the trucking company bear 100% of the liability? Can they then subrogate against, Tesla or whoever,
the software,
because it wasn't my driver, it was your, whatever. It'd be interesting to see where the risk lies there. Yeah, let's have some fun though, Lou. Let's have a little
Okay.
fun, all right?
I'm ready.
It's been too long, Lou. Okay, it's been too long, buddy. We're gonna play a little game, okay? Are you
Yes.
familiar with this game called overrated or underrated?
I am.
Okay, he
You hit me
knows.
with military moves in Nashville.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. All right. So you're familiar. You're familiar. All right. So two rules. All right. I'm going to give you a topic, and you're going to tell me if it's overrated or underrated.
Do I have to tell you why?
You probably ought to, because the second is I will tell you if you're right or wrong.
Oh,
Are you ready? Are you
ready.
ready, Lou? You thought this was going to be easy. You thought no more softballs for you, Lou. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Let's get in the comments. Let us know how we're doing out here. Yep, there we go. Oh, Jennifer's got a geeky question. We'll see if we got time for your geeky questions. All right, Jennifer. All right, here we go. Cargo theft. Is it overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Why?
I agree. You are correct. It is underrated. Why, Lou?
It's huge. It is. That's.
I just stole some cargo yesterday, actually.
You stole a left.
I went to the supermarket, got a little cargo, got a milk.
It happens far too often, and it's avoidable. We've actually done heat zones to show our clients where they're going, where there are tremendous cargo theft incidents reported. It's detrimental, and again, stupidity, right? If you're going to go and stop at a hotel with a fully loaded truck, and make sure the truck's locked, make sure it's a well-lit area, make sure there's cameras around.
This reminds me of Goodfellas, Lou. This reminds me of like the Lufthansa heist. This reminds me of like, oh, I fell off the truck. Hey, yo, I don't know nothing. Couple cases of Cutty Sark and some Lucky Strikes. I don't know nothing.
Couple for me, couple for you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this reminds me of like New York in the 70s. Like, what, are we going back in time? What's going on here?
I had a client who used to export cell phones into Brazil. Brazilian customs would say, 2 for me, 1 for you.
Yeah. No, but it's big right now. Cargo theft is big. I kind of laughed when I first heard it, and I kept hearing it. I'm like, oh, this is something. And then I saw how ingenious the schemes were, and fake carriers popping up and bidding on stuff, and just just all sorts of mystery. It's more like con artistry.
The load boards are full of it. They are.
Yeah.
Boards.
I always think of like some mafia guy strong arming somebody on the side of the road at a truck stop, but it's more it's technical than that nowadays.
Yeah.
They're just giving the cargo away. All right. That one's underrated for sure. Easy one. I got one for you. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one. Overrated or underrated? Shout out to Jillian on my team. Underrated or overrated or more underrated? Who knows? I don't know. Maybe the New York Giants. The New York Football Giants.
I got my Jets helmet back there, so
they
are overrated.
Yes, they are overrated. 4.5 wins, over under 4.5 wins this year. I'm saying.
Well, my Jets aren't much better, so I think they're overrated too. But yeah, no, New York football, they're the Bills.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the only team that plays in New York.
They are. That's very true.
But hey, yeah, the Giants are interesting this year. I don't know where Jillian's at, if she's in the comments or not here, but we're talking Cam Scatterboo's doing backflips at the card show, Jackson Dart's jumping off boats. What could go wrong, people?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing at all. Yeah. All right, my Cowboys are looking good. Cowboys 9.5 is the win total this year. Over under. What are you thinking? 9.5. 17-game season now, Lou.
I know. I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna say they're gonna go 11-6.
Yeah, I love 11-6. There we go. That might be good enough for the playoffs.
No, it's not playoff. It's just not making the playoffs, Ben. I'm sorry.
The Eagles are 10.5. 10.5.
The Eagles are gonna get the East. There's no question.
We'll see. Let's see here. Jillian says the Giants have aura, not wins. They will never be overrated. That's all they have is aura. That's why.
Yeah.
Carolyn says Giants are overrated. Look at Cookie
great logo.
Getting in here. I think this is Carolyn says cargo theft. I think of pirates. Yeah, a little bit, Caroline. Bunch of freight pirates. All right. Moving on here. Overrated, underrated. How about this one? Nashville.
Oh, underrated. It's my favorite place in the world to be. We had so much fun every time. We had so much fun with you guys. It's a great host city. It's just so much fun. And you can be a day drinker, a night drinker. You can be a non-drinker. The music is terrific.
You could actually be a non-drinker and still have a blast.
Absolutely.
You sure could. Not that I would know, but I think you could. I think
we had a few drinks together.
We might have had a couple. I'll be honest with you. I don't actually think it's the nuclear verdicts. I think it's my bar tab that's actually ruining it for all the movers out there. So I apologize, guys. Let's see here. Cowboys are over. Get out of here. Mute her. Boot her and mute her. Okay. Let's see here. Nashville. That was an easy one. You know what? We'll stay on that tip though here. What do you think? Overrated, underrated martinis?
Overrated. Give me my booze straight.
Straight. Too much ice? Don't shake it, huh?
Just ice.
Just
if you
a
want
vodka
to
neat.
If you want to give me a vodka up martini, which was just vodka poured over ice, put in an up glass, I'll drink that martini all day long.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't want any olive juice. I want any olives.
No olives, no vermouth, no glass, Senor Frogs, in my mouth. Okay, great. Love it. Martini's overrated. I don't know. I might go underrated on this one. They're to the point. They're cold and to the point, and I think there's something to that. There's something to that here. Nashville, over here. Yes, she's a non-drinker, loving Nashville. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Lou. Indianapolis doesn't have the same ring to it.
It's got too many syllables.
Yeah, I can't spell Indianapolis when I'm drunk trying to get my Uber, and I'm like, it's in Indianapolis. Where's the? I don't know how to do. How do I even do that? Talk about moving captives. I'm going to be stranded somewhere in Indiana. I'm a moving captive. All right, next one up. Last one. Overrated, underrated. Reality television.
We had this discussion. Overrated. Can't stand it. My wife watches reality TV, and I get to see it all the time. And
what's your least favorite reality TV show that you watched, Lou?
The Housewives.
Oh,
the Real Housewives of Anywhere.
Real Housewives
of Anywhere.
Bear Mountain. Love it. Yeah, overrated. I'm with you. I got Jillian over here is a big Love Island fan, and I get enough just from the second hand.
Hearing about it.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Mel says underrated martinis. Come on, Ben. Smooth sailing. What's up, Mel? Mel and her Kenny Chesney martini over there. Love it. This is going to be great. Oh, I can't wait to see you, Lou. It's going to be a good time, buddy.
Coming up soon.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. You want to leave us maybe with just a piece of advice for trucking owners out there?
I mean, I think I've said it. You got to take control of your story, rewrite the narrative, invest in the technology that you're already financially investing in, partner with the right broker and insurance company or companies. But it comes down to building those relationships and using the tools that you've already made yourself available to. So that's my takeaway here, or my giveaway.
Love it. Well said, Lou. Well said. And just remember, y'all, all these opinions and advice are free. You get what you pay for, no refunds. Lou, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks,
I really appreciate it.
Fun.
Thanks everybody who got into the comments too. Appreciate y'all. And don't go anywhere tomorrow. Same time, same channel. We're gonna see you tomorrow. We got Kristen Faison from Autodesk on tomorrow. That's gonna be a lot of fun. She's a corporate mobility manager. But today we had Louis Hefter here from Alliant. And Lou, I gotta say it was a lot of fun.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Ben.
Take care, everybody.